Hello, everyone. Satsangat Astrology back to speak about the Scorpio Full Moon coming up April 26, 27, depending on where you are in the world, 2021. We are already in April, believe it or not. So before I start, I would like to remind you that I am available for personal readings. You can go to my blog, Satsangat Astrology, blogspot.com, and there you can find more information about the readings that I offer, the pricing, and I also am teaching beginner's course in astrology, where not only you will learn information, basic information, but I also teach you how to use it in order to interpret a birth chart, how to apply it to a real life a person, even to real life events, or it doesn't, it's not enough to know the individual planets and signs and meanings of houses, etc. But I teach you how to interpret the blending of the meanings, right? Because you need to blend, for example, the meaning of a planet with a sign and the house. So that's what I focus my teaching, right? So if you have been so far learning bits and pieces, you will be able to put everything together with my basic course. We will review all the basic elements. So if you are interested, feel free to contact me by email. And also, as I said in the blog, there is a page with all the information about the course, but you can request the syllabus, and I can even explain to you in detail before you buy the course or the classes. So the classes are twice a month, and I also offer consultation time where you can get one-on-one time with me regarding homework and your studies. So take advantage of this offer, because it is wonderful, a wonderful course. So I am also in social media, as you see here. And of course, as I said, you can order your personal reading if you are interested in that. For my free work here on YouTube, I accept donations if you feel inclined to do so. So now let's dive deeply into Scorpio, right? The shadows of human consciousness. So I'll get started with I'll get started sharing the chart so you can follow my interpretations with the image. So I wish you the best for this full moon in Scorpio, which is very challenging. It's starting a new period this year. So far, we have been having relief, right, for a while, with all the planets direct and doing things. All the planets were moving, the person planets, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and the sun were moving together from sign to sign, like they were in committee visiting different houses, right? And so now they will move into Taurus, we will have a different experience, you know, because the movement of these planets into Taurus will bring a boost and a new impulse to the Saturn Uranus square, which has been since last year, right? At the middle of the year, we had a preview of that. And now this year in February, they had the first actual exact partile square. And then they will square 2 more times, but they will stay within orb about 3 degrees orb up until October 2022. So we can count on them to be influential to your personal life, but also to the world events for a couple of years. So this movement of the personal planets into Taurus will be very significant for everyone. And we will see changes, as I will explain, in the world and also in our personal life. So get ready, and I will share the chart with you next. So I hope you enjoy my reading. I will move out of the video for this time. Okay. Okay, so here you have the chart, and as you see here, a strong earth, right? So it is very material. It's a chart full of not only that, but it's a fixed earth. So it's solid. It's energy that is stubborn and determined, and even very well planted on the ground. So it is a grounding kind of energy. And so far, up until now, we will have, you have experienced all the planets direct, as I mentioned before. So it was a good momentum to get started things and get going. But now, from now on, every month we will have 1 or 2 planets turning retrograde. The first one is Pluto, which will be stationary retrograde at the moment of the moon, of the full moon. So it is very significant for this chart, because it rules Scorpio, right? Is the modern ruler of Scorpio. So Pluto stationary direct, it infuses a very strong energy, Plutonian transformational energy. And talking about transformation, I hope you watched my Aries new moon video, because I described how this cycle, that started in Aries in around the 11th of the month, how it is very transformational. I explained that all the planets were squaring successively Pluto before and after the new moon. So Pluto has been playing a major role in this present moon cycle, and we will see it especially at the full moon. So this full moon is very, very powerful. As I said, you will feel it is also in T-square with Saturn. So the T-square will be triggering, let me show you the Okay, so these are the aspects. So you can see the moon in Scorpio square Saturn in Aquarius, and of course opposing the sun. However, the sun is not alone this time. So the sun is forming a conjunction to Uranus. And this is very significant because this is not our regular sun, everyday sun. This is an electrifying sun. And of course, the sun is our creativity, our core essence, and the spirit that we bring to this Taurus energy, right? Which is material. It talks about the material resources. It is about the economy, the finances. It's about the body, right? The body of the beings of all kinds, right? It's about the body of the ecosystem and everything that is alive in nature. It is the resources that we use from the earth. So this is probably a surprise change about regarding nature or the ecology or the energy of the material things. So as forming this conjunction with Uranus is very strong, it's very close, about 3 degrees apart. And this light of the sun that is very innovative, and not only that, but it could be surprising, something unexpected. That light is projected onto the moon, our emotional unconscious or our emotional reactions, our receptivity. And it's in Scorpio, where the moon is at detriment, at fall, because it is exalted in Taurus, right? So this is a moon that is suffering there. It is a moon that has to face the deep shadows of the unconscious or psychological issues, and even sexual issues may be related to shared energy with others, right? Because Scorpio is the sign where we have the ability to trust others and entrust our resources, and being able to also receive the resources of others, in as well as the energy, the sharing of energy that could be sexual or could be the energy of work, for example. So having said that, what I think is that there is probably a major shift in, for example, finances, or in the distribution of resources, and even the food distribution, right? Channels that could be that could we may have a surprise that will reveal secrets about finances or the financial system or the banking system, and things that the public have been sheltered from knowing or understanding, right? But at the same time, it's squaring Saturn in Aquarius. So this square is brings frustration, right? and also this fatigue, this need to retreat, to reduce activity and restrain our emotions, and also sometimes there is a need to avoid responsibilities, or even reduce the social activity, right? And in fact, in many places of the world, people are restraining from social contact because of the pandemic, right? So this Saturn in Aquarius is about isolation and self protection as well. So it may require hard work, and it may in square with the Sun, it may even block the self-expression and pleasurable activities, right, in square with the Sun in Taurus. So this Saturn is implying harsh situations, probably conflicts with the desires of the self, right? Your heart desires, which are represented by the Sun. And at the same time, this Saturn is also affecting our emotional life. And so this full moon will be probably a moment of going deeper and deeper into things that you didn't realize until now. Maybe depending on any planet that the moon may be aspecting, especially if it is conjunct in your natal chart. For example, if it is about Mars, it could be your shadow side of your Mars, right? In Scorpio, if it is Venus, it could be about love or relationship, things that you secrets that you may not have been aware of, and they come to the surface. So as every full moon, since there is an opposition, usually it takes another person or a situation outside of your life, or something that is outside an outside event that will trigger you in order to activate this Taurus Scorpio polarity, which is, as I said, it is the polarity of materiality, of energy. And talking about Uranus in Taurus in square with Saturn, at the world level, we have, first of all, before I talk about this square, I need to remind you of where the Saturn Uranus started. And this is very, very important because it started at the end degree of Sagittarius in 1988. So the last degree, 29 degrees of Sagittarius, has this urgency to finish with beliefs, with your belief system, and also ending your ideas or ideologies about things, but also it's about your ethics, your morality, your morals, right? And also for some people who practice organized religions, is also a cycle that is challenging you to leave behind ideas or beliefs that are no longer valid. And one of the things that is happening with this last quarter square of the cycle, right? I have reviewed this square before, Saturn. I think I even have a blog talking about um, Saturn square Uranus. And I'll put the link in the description box for your reference. But it's important to understand that planets don't have these angles as isolated aspects, right? They are part of a synodic cycle, and we need to consider where the cycle started, where it was the first quarter square of the crisis in action, where the opposition happened, and where now we have the last quarter square, which is the crisis in consciousness, where we integrate, where we really are understanding that we are leaving behind ideas and beliefs that are no longer valid. And if you look back, if you were alive in 1988, for example, you realize how many ideas and beliefs have been falling down the road, right? One of the things that it was very in the news, and it was very publicized and discussed, and it showed the values, right? Taurus, Uranus and Taurus is shaking the values. And it has shaken the values is this mixing of human cells with animals, and producing I would say a new species, if you want. I read about, and I'll put the links in the description below, so you have the reference for the news that I was reading. This is a serious research in prestigious labs of research. So they were mixing monkey cells with human cells to conceive this new species, right? And prior to that, there was another experiment where in the lab they produced a beating human heart using an embryo of a mice. So a mouse. So those things are bringing up a discussion about ethical values, for example. Also, they are questioning the position of the human being in all this context, right? What is the place that we are occupying in the ecosystem, for example, and how we can deal with these innovations, right? That's typical Uranus in Taurus, right? Modifying the matter. And also this Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and it's creativity, using the power that the humans have to create new life. And this is in square to Saturn, right? The traditional ways of being a human being. So we are dropping, maybe, or we are questioning at least our beliefs, our ethics, and that's not all. I talked about the ethical values, the traditional religious beliefs that are in question in many levels of society, and also there is this the strive for freedom, right? In 1988, it was Gorbachev for example, who started the perestroika, and that it was the transitional process of liberation from a system that wasn't working properly anymore, right? So in how that brought about the fall of the Berlin Wall and so many other changes. But as you see, Uranus is the breaker of walls. In square with Saturn, Uranus breaks, Saturn is the walls. So we can expect many walls to fall down. And since they are squaring in fixed signs, what happens is that every party that is in conflict with the other will dig in their heels in a very sacrificial way. If you look at, for example, Myanmar, where there was a coup and they took down the elected government, and now they are persecuting and killing and putting in jail all people who are against the military, right? And they are in the streets anyways, no matter how much they risk their lives. Many of them have been bitten and have been beaten and have been imprisoned, and they have suffered even death, right? Because they cannot let go of this fight for freedom. And I read about Navalny in Russia, for example. He has been, I think, for 3 weeks, he has been in fasting, right? Yes, how do you call that? Hunger strike. Okay, the hunger strike. So, and the doctors are very concerned that he may die because he's not eating. So, as you see, and the government doesn't want to give in. There are, I think, 45 countries who are requesting his liberation, and he is not giving in either. So they are strongly grounded in their positions, and they don't want to give in to the other party. And this is the situation in many countries where there are opposition of parties and factions, right? And that's because Aquarius and Taurus are fixed signs, so they will even die for their causes and their ideals. But there is this attempt to liberate from the oppression represented by Saturn, right? And especially, well, in other countries who are democratic, people are fighting against the social restrictions due to that the governments have imposed due to the pandemic, right? And so there is this struggle that you in your personal life may experience between the house occupied by Taurus and the house occupied by Aquarius, right? And now with the moon in Scorpio, you need to watch for any planets that any of these transits are affecting to your chart. So there are some positive, okay, it all looks so challenging, and it is. So I cannot deny that it is a challenging full moon, a difficult one, but let's look for something that can give us the positive side of things, right? And we have a couple of very interesting aspects, which are the sun is quintile Jupiter. And this is very, very good because a quintile is a 71-degree angle, and the sun is the first quintile Jupiter, meaning that the sun has been conjunct Jupiter, and now it's forming the first 71 degrees from it. So it is very creative and optimistic about the creativity. That's how you see scientists, for example, Jupiter in Aquarius, right? People who are doing investigations because then they want to know more and more. They want to really know, and they are optimistic about finding information. We see the Perseverance vehicle that went to Mars, right? We are exploring the cosmos and learning about maybe life in another places. And as I said, comparing to, for example, the Copernic revolution, and at his time in 16th century, when he was shaking the belief system of the time, saying, oh, no, the earth is not the center of the universe, the sun is, and the earth is rotating around it. And that changed the whole paradigm of society, religion. So that's why he was silenced, right? So the same thing may be happening now, that we are discovering new horizons, right? And scientists and astronomers are so optimistic about finding new truths, finding life somewhere. And so they are motivated by this fire of creativity of the sun, right? So in this quintile also gives the ability to go for it, right? And develop those creative endeavors and activities and skills. So it also talks about the expansion of consciousness and the success at expanding consciousness. So this gives motivation to learn more and more, and in order to create, right? It also is supporting the this creativity dedicated to create new life. So this quintile also supports a higher understanding of the material realm, and even the exploration of the cosmos. So there is a great push to learn, to the desire to learn more, and having also Uranus is also in a quintile to Jupiter. So we see this innovative discoveries of truths, and sometimes very weird, like I mentioned before, right? Mixing cells from one species to another, which is kind of weird for our previous ideas, right? But for science research that is opening up the understanding of what life means, and what and how we can maybe control life, or being able to, I don't know, maybe find solutions to for health And but of course, in the process, they will make many mistakes, and things may go wacky, right? So let me see what else. Of course, we had Mercury and Venus with in a wide conjunction with both the Sun and Uranus, but that was the conjunction. Their conjunction is separating. So it happened. Venus conjuncted Uranus on the April 22nd. That will be next week. I am recording this on April 18th, Sunday. So next Thursday. And Friday, Mercury will conjunct Friday the 23rd. Mercury conjuncts Uranus. And on April 30th, after the full moon, the Sun will conjunct Uranus. But the applying aspect is very powerful as well. So you will feel it during the full moon. What else? Okay, so the Mercury is still under the sun rays, so it is invisible, and it just came out of the superior conjunction with the Sun. I don't have the date for the conjunction, but it was a few days before the full moon. I think it's today on the 28th. Anyways, at the time of the conjunction, sometimes we have an eureka moment, or light in consciousness, an insight, or an understanding, and that is helpful. But while Mercury is combust under the sun rays and we cannot see it, it's now evening star, so it will be visible starting on May 1st. It will be visible in the evening. That makes for a different kind of Mercury, right? Because so far, up until today, it has been morning star, right? Very daring and open to new ideas, and very open-minded, and very active, right? But however, as an evening star, Mercury becomes more introspective, more meditative, reflective, and especially not so fast, and your mind will not be so daring for new things, new ideas, right? I want to mention as well the out of sign trine between Mars and Jupiter. Mars has been trying for a few days, has been trying Jupiter since Mars was at the end of Gemini, but now it is already in Cancer. And I heard astrologers, and I read about the traditional astrology, thinking that Mars is debilitated there because it is exalted in Capricorn. Right. Well, it may be some truth to that. I don't buy too much into that debilitation, because Mars in Cancer can fight with nails and teeth for family, to defend family, family values, family members, your home, and even the homeland, or the home your home country or hometown, whatever it is that you call home. So Mars will be as ferocious defending that, and it's probably not willing to be the attacker, right? But it will be a very strong defender of those ideals in Cancer. So I don't want to diminish his power to strive for what he thinks is home, right? Well, in trine with Jupiter, it will be and another detail about Mars is that it is out of bounds, meaning that the declination is above the ecliptic by almost 25 degrees, which makes it very strong in its significations, and not only that, but Mars out of bounds can bring surprises and can do things unexpected, right? In trine with Jupiter, things may get big very easily. Sometimes people think that a trine is just so nice and positive. Well, it doesn't mean that it will be a good thing. What it means is the energy flows really easily, and it could be a bad thing that is flowing very easily. So don't be fooled by thinking, oh, Mars is trining Jupiter, oh, good luck and nice things. Well, maybe, but it depends on your choices, and it depends also on what is happening in society or what is happening with other people in the situation, right? So these are things to consider. What else do I need to mention? Oh, Pluto, right? As I said, that is Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, of course, and so we need to consider that the moon is also the people, right? It represents the people, and with the ruler, with her ruler in Cancer, there is a mutual reception there. Mars is in the moon's home, and the moon is in Mars's home. So they are helping each other to fight for what they call home. It could be also to protect mothers, to protect that receptive energy, to protect homes, right? And they are in trine as well. So their energy not only is mutual reception, their energy is as well very fluid. It's easily absorbed, right? So I think this can make for people fighting in the streets for what they think there'll be their rights to be safe and protected, right? Because Cancer is also the finding protection in your home, finding security. And I think this can be also a build-up for the time when Mars arrives near the end of Cancer, and I'm not sure of the date, but and then it will be opposing Pluto, and that will be really a big conflict and fight, that powerful, that can increase the fights in the streets and power struggles of all kinds. In your personal life, in society, countries may face each other. to protect their own, and so it could be, so this full moon could be the entrance into that kind of energy. So, and Pluto is the modern ruler of this full moon. And as I said, now it is stationary. It will turn retrograde on April 27th, hours after the full moon. And when a planet is stationary, is more powerful, and the energy is stronger, even though it's going retrograde, and it will be more introspective, more inclined to review things that have been working on. So, and another thing that I need to point out is that Pluto is on top of the United States Pluto, and I have a series of videos. The number 3 is about this time of the year, when in the second half of 2021. With the conjunction. So this is a conjunction that is barely a few minutes away. It's not a partile conjunction, but you can have a preview of what the Pluto return will be for the United States on this date of the Pluto stationary at this 26 degree 48 minutes. So it is a powerful full moon for many reasons. I want to say that the Sun and Uranus, Venus, and Mercury is also transiting the 6th house, whole sign house of, let's see, yeah, of the United States civil chart. So 6th house is about conflicts and things that need to be looked at and repaired and reviewed, and conflicts that need to be resolved. There's also about public health care. Let me look up, because I have here notes on what the 6th house of a country mean. So it's also the food reserves of a country. The Sun will be then transiting with Uranus these themes, the farming industry, the food distribution, especially grains. And it's also about public records. So surprise, surprise, there might be some records that come out to light, surprising the public. It's about the 6th house of a country is also about public employees and services, civil services, armed services, and the police when they are in service of people, and factories, trade unions, social security services, unemployment, insurance, disability allowances, and the public health in general, as I said. And it's also the house of working classes. So, and as well as the epidemics and widespread diseases. And I am reading from the Deborah Houlding, The Houses, Temples of the Sky. So as you see, this is affecting the 6th and 12th house of the United States chart, and the moon is on the 12th house using whole sign houses, right? And so the moon there, it could be bringing to light the secrets or the unconscious conditionings of the population as well. So let me see, for the 12th house of the country, it is the prison system, reformatories, and also criminals, secret enemies and spies, and underground movements, secret societies, and occult groups, as well, of course, as places of retreat, like monasteries, hospitals, asylums, and imprisoned persons, and those institutions that gather the weak, the infirm, welfare also, and homeless people, and in countries where there is oppression. It could also mean concentration camps. I hope it's not the case of the United States, but there are many people in prison who are not supposed to be in prison, right? Like children, refugees, and etc. But so this full moon is illuminating the 6th, the 12th house, and the 3rd house of the country, the United States. So, and for your personal life, just watch what the let me see, I'm gonna put the video again and stop share. So for your personal life, look at the planets that the full moon is aspecting in your chart. And if you have questions about it and you feel so inclined, contact me for a personal reading, and I can help you clarify whatever questions you have, right? In general, as I said before, full moon also brings about relationship problems, conflicts, and confrontations. So it might be a good time to have a consultation with an astrologer to find out how you can solve those. So this is all that I had for you. I hope you enjoyed my interpretation, and I gave you some insights to think about and consider for your personal life as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around or receive an email from you. Please be safe, and I wish you the best for the rest of this month, right? So goodbye.